newspapers are saying this morning, The Telegraph leading on the King's speech with the headline, "Thank you, Mama."
The Daily Mail covers the King's heartbreaking first speech with a poignant photo of him looking about as though he's about to burst into tears. He never quite did, but you got the sense that he was very tearful.
The Guardian quotes the King, "I shall endeavour to serve you with loyalty and love."
And the Times leads on the King's speech, covering the news that William has now been made Prince of Wales.
And, of course, Catherine, Princess of Wales, which I think is significant. The Express quotes the King's speech and how he ended it. "May flights of angels sing thee to thy rest."
Which is apparently what Horatio said to Hamlet. Very last scene, Hamlet. I had to Google that, though, I'm afraid. Right, there's the Daily Express, yes. "May flights of angels sing thee to thy rest." And our next one is the Mirror. Loyalty, respect and love.
And the Eye has Charles talking of his vow of lifelong service and talking about how his mother made that vow on her 21st birthday. And
he said he was going to renew it, didn't he?
Yeah.
I renew that vow.
I just thought it was such a powerful speech.
It was,
actually,
yes.
and felt absolutely heartfelt. I don't know, I was really moved by it.
Tell us what you thought. GBViews at gbnews.uk.
Let's go through some of those papers then. Political editor of the HuffPost UK, Kevin Schofield, and the author and journalist Susan Holder. I morning to you both. I did see, Susan, yesterday you were at the Palace.
I was.
Having a look round.
Yes.
You looked very moved, I have to say, in the picture you posted.
Yeah. Oh, you saw that on my Twitter?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, no, I just felt compelled to go. It kept raining and I kept looking out, but I just thought, no, I just wanted to go down there and be down there. And it's a difficult one because I just thought, I never thought I was, want to be a sheep or one of the herd or anything. But then you think, actually, what would it be like if people didn't go? What would that say? And I just felt that I just wanted to be there and I actually thought, I want to get down there before Charles arrives. And I did get there, but I didn't get anywhere near. I only knew he was there because of all the phones in the...
I know, there was a sea of mobile phones.
Something must be happening. And I was just so glad I was there because I think for the royal family to look out and see that amount of people must be very reassuring to them and must mean something to them, and that's why. But it says in the paper actually, the people were wandering around with a sense of bewilderment, and it was a bit. And then when they arrived, there was a bit of purpose. Oh, that's why we're here, sort of thing. It became kind of something that you were actually doing.
But it's interesting you say you needed to be there, and that's what most people said. I need to be here.
Yeah.
It's just that sort of sense of getting together, I guess.
Yeah. And it's interesting in the Mail's take on it all. God Save the King, which we heard a lot, which is strange but reassuring.
Yes, yes, absolutely reassuring. And that was him getting out of the car. I think was very reassuring.
Wow, wasn't it?
That kind of the continuity of that while we're all kind of. We can't adjust quickly and we're not going to adjust straight away, and it is just a momentous thing that's happened, but that is what the monarchy is. It does continue, it does go on, and that actually was very tangible there yesterday, I think, when that happened.
Yes, It was absolutely the right thing to do, wasn't it? I gasped when I saw him get out. I thought, wow, that's a risk, but it was the right thing to do.
No, I think so, yeah. I mean, he has to be seen to be with his people. And I think, and also I think it was just a nice gesture. As Susan says, it was raining. The weather wasn't great yesterday. Thousands of people had turned up, regardless of the weather. And I think it was appreciated that the Prince got us the King.
Yes.
It'll take a while.
He's going to be called Queen quite a lot, isn't he? Bless him.
Oh yeah.
God Save the Queen is going to come out quite a lot.
Yes,
and I think he's just going to laugh about that because he's going to realise that people are going to take a long time to get there.
Kevin, in the Daily Mail, you've been looking at his speech.
Yeah.
Flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Well, I mean, what was it they say that you don't get a second chance to make a first impression? And I think this was his first chance as King to speak to the nation, and people, the vast majority of us have only ever known the Queen as monarch, so people didn't know what to expect. But I think by any measure, he absolutely nailed it, really. And we're told that he was writing it himself right up until before it was recorded.
And was it recorded?
Yeah.
It was pre-recorded. So,
It was still at Balmoral. It was recorded at Balmoral, wasn't it?
No, it was in Buckingham. It was after
Was
they'd
it?
come back down.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I think he
'Cause
went
I thought
in
it was
and
the
did
same
it.
fireplace behind.
Yeah, I think he did it at Buckingham.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I think it offered reassurance, it offered continuity, and just people needed that, I think, in the circumstances. And he even managed to come up with a news line about the Prince and Princess of Wales, you know. So I thought it ticked all the boxes, and it means that his reign gets off to a pretty positive
And
start.
referring warmly to Harry and Meghan.
Yes.
You know, was very well done.
Again, very well judged.
Very well
just
done.
right.
I saw that some of the things you see on social media are very interesting, I think. And I saw a tweet, I think it was Victoria Cora Mitchell yesterday, put something like, it's an accident of birth that we get the monarchy we get. And he didn't have to be, I think she used the words, he didn't have to be intelligent and articulate and wise, but he is, aren't we lucky? And I think that absolutely came through in that yesterday. I think it was a very genuine...
When you look at it, we were very lucky to have Elizabeth.
Yes.
Maybe rather than Margaret, although Margaret might have been different if she'd been the firstborn. We've been very lucky to have Charles and not Andrew.
Yes.
And we are very lucky, I think, to have William.
William coming out, with Kate as well, absolutely.
And what do you make of the Prince and Princess of Wales?
I think the timing feels right.
Doesn't it feel
Doesn't
right?
it? It just does. It just feels that we will think that that's a wonderful way, even if it does have echoes of Diana, which for a lot of people it always will.
Oh, yeah.
Then for William and Kate to be Prince and Princess of Wales is perfectly right, and it is the natural order of things.
And I wonder, though, even in this, we've got producers who are not quite 25 years old and things, and you wonder, well, for us there's this huge significance to those titles, and I wonder if that resonates with youngsters, whether they get that.
No.
Probably not.
I'd be very, very surprised if they do. I mean, it's 25 years, incredibly, since Princess Diana died. And although it was always acknowledged that William would become the Prince of Wales, as I understand it, it didn't have to happen straight away.
No.
It's entirely in the King's gift when the title was passed on, but he's decided right from the very beginning
Do it straight
this is
away.
happening, and I think that's...
I think what moved me about the speech particularly as well, it started and I was ready to watch it, and His Majesty the King came up, and it really made me gasp to see that. I don't know, it just is such a... It just brought it home, the change that is happening. That as soon as I saw that, I was already kind of on the verge before he even started speaking.
I know, it's very hard to keep a dry eye, isn't it?
Kevin, though, what was happening in the background behind particularly the Sussexes, Harry and Meghan, who announced early on that they were going up to Balmoral, and then in the end we saw Harry go on his own.
Yeah, I mean, even amongst all of this that's going on, there's still that psychodrama in the background of the Sussexes, and apparently they let it be known to the few journalists that they actually speak to that they would both be going up to Balmoral a couple of days ago, and then it was very quickly, I think, made clear to Harry by his father, according to the Sun anyway, that's not going to happen. He just phoned and said, look, this is this
Allegedly,
family
King
owned.
Charles, that now, rang his son Harry at Frogmore Cottage and said, she's not welcome, basically.
Well, yeah,
Come on your own.
I guess as the years go on, and we know that they're pretty verbose, it'll all come out in the wash, I'm sure.
I don't want this to be another chapter in the book.
Well, that's the trouble. It would have been either way, wouldn't it?
I mean, if that was the situation and Charles was put in that situation, I just hope he wasn't. But if he was, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear the other side of that.
But, Catherine wasn't there.
Well, I was going to say that is a pretty reasonable explanation. I think that Catherine wasn't there, and
Sophie was, though.
Well, yeah, although we know that she had a particularly close relationship with the Queen, don't we? The Queen, I think, looked upon her as a second daughter, almost. So maybe, an exception would have been made there. But Kate not being there, I think, probably gives cover, if you want to put it like that, to the King to say, well, actually, if Kate's not coming, Meghan can't be here either. And that's before you get to all the other...
He left very early the next morning as well, didn't he? He was
well, yes, it was gone by about 9:30, wasn't it? It's interesting that we never talk about Princess Anne's husband.
Yeah.
Do we? There's no sort of fuss about whether he was there or not.
No, none whatsoever.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's sort of a
Princess
bit...
Anne doesn't make a fuss, does she?
She
No,
does
she doesn't
not
make a fuss about anything, does she?
And I hope, I don't know whether it will happen, but if there is any room for people to kind of, I mean, it's all hands on deck, isn't it? They need more. I would like to see much more of Princess Anne. I think she's such a valuable...
People do. I mean, she does.
She does a lot
of
more, but I
work.
think she's...
than nearly anyone else.
You know, if they need more people to do more things, then I think she's the person that they should turn to.
Well, interestingly, Beatrice has
Yes,
just
she's
got...
apparently going to take on some sort of special role.
well, she's been... It's the way it all shifts over. So she's got the role now that William got at 21, so she can stand in for the king
Okay.
now, which I think is quite... I think it's quite interesting in that... it means that, you know, she's not being excluded
No,
because
they're
of
not
her
ignoring the whole
father.
family. Exactly.
Well, no, and neither should they, really?
No,
I mean,
it's not their fault, is
No,
it?
it's not her fault.
No. In the Mirror, Susan,
Yeah.
looking at how we can all pay our respects.
Yes, so there are various things that are apparently scheduled for the next few days that we understand to be the case. First of all, they are going to move the Queen's coffin to be flown to RF Northolt in northwest London, and then it'll be transferred to Buckingham Palace. Now, that won't be an official thing that people are meant to, but I think we will see people lining the route for that probably when it happens on Tuesday. But
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah, there will be, even though that will be something that's not kind of like an organised thing that is meant to happen. That will just be something that people who live nearby perhaps will go out and if they know the route will do that. But on Wednesday there will be a procession of the Queen's coffin from Buckingham Palace to the Palace of Westminster, which will take place along the ceremonial route through the capital. And then the hall will then be open for 23 hours a day for members of the public. And then you have to queue to get in, but you will be able to file past the coffin. So that will be on Wednesday. And then at the moment they're saying Monday. I don't think it's been announced yet.
No,
They
it
are
hasn't
saying
been.
Monday for the funeral.
Monday the 19th.
Monday the 19th,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
Yeah, so all the press seem to be agreed on that.
They do, yes.
Yeah,
yes. I'm not
seems to
whether
be the
that's the way it's organised. I'm not sure, but I mean these protocols and plans have been in place for a very long time. So I think a lot of people do know a lot about what will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's have a quick look at Queen Camilla in the Mirror, Kevin. And I know there are still some people find it a little bit uncomfortable, but it feels right to me, and we know it's what Elizabeth wanted.
Yeah, definitely. I think the vast majority of the public have come round to Camilla now. I mean, you forget. She's got an interesting bit in this article in the Mirror. So the relationship was made public official in 1999, and if you remember, there was huge controversy. People were not happy about that at all. So soon after Diana's death, threatened to break the monarchy. It says here, and as late as 2002, the Queen reportedly wanted them to split up. Now, Sir Michael Peake became Charles's private secretary then, and apparently his job was to break them up. That was to go in there
Really?
and separate them, because the reputation of the royal family cannot survive their relationship. But within 3 years, they were married.
Yeah. They've been married 17 years.
Which is incredible in itself,
Yeah.
really. And, you know, apparently Charles has made it clear, no,
They were, yeah.
our relationship is rock solid. We come as a package, effectively. And in the intervening years, you know, there's been a rehabilitation, if you want to put it like that, of Camilla's reputation.
Well, Mark Bolan was brought in, wasn't he,
That's
to
right.
work on that?
Yeah, and it's been hugely successful. And I think now, you know, and was it a couple of years ago when the Queen made it official that when Charles became king, Camilla would become Queen Consort?
Yes.
And there was no controversy. No one really
No.
cared, did they?
Well,
It
he's-
just
he's-
passed without comment.
He's happy.
Yeah, she makes him happy.
Absolutely.
And
He's
there's nice
happy
pictures there of the
and
two of
more
them.
relaxed and absolutely.
tell you what-
And it's a very, very difficult job and a very difficult role. And the Queen had the Duke of Edinburgh, and if Charles needs Camilla, I do think people
Oh,
have to
God,
respect
yeah.
the fact.
I love this. There's a piece in the Mail by Richard Kay, I think it is, and basically saying, if you can have a look, that she is the first time we've ever had a queen who used to do her weekly shop in Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she is. And they say that's her very ordinariness, maybe her greatest asset. I don't think she is ordinary.
No.
Is she?
No, I don't
That's
think
the
she
wrong
is.
word. But she has been you know, she has been a countrywoman who used to go to
I don't think
Sainsbury's
she's
to do her
ordinary,
weekly
but I
shop.
think she has a down-to-earth quality that my husband was invited to her 75th birthday lunch just, was it in July? It wasn't very long ago. So there was a big lunch that Giles Brandreth and Joanna Lumley and there was lots of people. You had to be over 75 and still active in your field to be invited to this special lunch for Camilla. And my husband went along, and he said the different people in the room who she was able to obviously, you know, be with and knew, and from every sort of walk of life and every sort of kind of industry. And actually, people don't give her credit for kind of how you know, well read and well you know, versed she is, and personable, and how she can mix with everything. And that's what you need to be in that role that she's got. You have to be able to meet people. You have to be able to talk about anything. You have to be able to understand lots of different situations. And I think she does that. And I think more than anything, she and Charles have a warm, genuine love. And if things had been slightly different, this would have been one of the greatest love stories ever told.
Oh, yeah.
It was lovely the way he described her yesterday, my darling wife.
Yes.
I thought it was really important that he laid down that bedrock, you know. As you said, that he's not going to compromise on anything. She is the queen.
No, quite right. Yeah, quite right.
Yeah,
quite right too.
Absolutely.
Look, we need to leave it there just for the time being, but we will catch up with you two a little bit later on. Thank you very much indeed.